Okay, welcome. Ooh. It's been just a couple of years since we've been able to do this, and we're really grateful you all showed up. In fact, you showed up in droves. I'm Reed, and I'm the director of the Senior Center, and I'm happy to welcome you all to the 2023 talent show of the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. And one of the stalwart members of this organization who helped us for every talent show was Bob Like, who recently passed, and so we'd like to dedicate today's program to Bob. And to put us in the right mood and spirit, we'd like to start by singing a song Bob wrote, the Senior Center song. And so if members of the board and the events committee would come up here, please.
We are so cool. It used to be a long time ago when people got older, their lives got slow. Well, that's not the way it used to be. Jar smoke and get out of our way. No, 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 don't call the cops. Don't call a shrink. We're not nutty as you might think. We're the Senior Center on a heck of a run, and we're never getting old 'cause we're having too much fun.
Well done. Lisa Farrell-Weiss teaches a Zumba Gold class here. And today, with some of her classmates, we're going to watch some of the moves.
Underneath the stars, ooh yeah, I want it all. Got me feeling like I wanna be that guy. I wanna kiss your eyes. I wanna drink that smile. I wanna feel like my soul's on fire. I wanna stay up all day and all night. Yeah, you got me singing like, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you're close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. And we'll say, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you're close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back into the car. On the backseat in the moonlit dark, wrap me up between your legs and arms. Ooh, I can get enough. You know you could tear me apart, put me back together and take my heart. I never thought that I could love this hard. Ooh, I can get enough. Ooh, you got me feeling like I wanna be that guy. I wanna kiss your eyes. I wanna drink that smile. I wanna feel like my soul's on fire. I wanna stay up all day and all night. Yeah, you got me singing like, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you're close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. And when you're close up, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. And when they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. Yeah.
Yo sé perder, pero ay, cómo me duele. Ay, cómo me duele. Ay, cómo me duele.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Suzanne, Kimi, Linda. That was great. Okay, now we're going to take a little change in tone here. We're going to go down to the river, and my good friend James McPherson is going to be channeling a little Johnny Cash.
Okay, you may know Johnny Cash, the man in black, right? He had a very complicated life. He was a very religious man. And with that in mind, the song that I'm singing is called Down There by the Train. And if you think about gospel songs, The Train to Jordan. We sing it in choir. Get on board, little children, get on board, little children. I think that this is Johnny Cash's reaction to that particular song because he was a man who considered himself a sinner his whole life. There's a place I know where the train goes slow, where the sinner can be washed in the blood of the Lamb. There's a river by the trestle down at Sinner's Grove, down where the willow and the dogwood grow. You can hear the whistle, you can hear the bell, from the halls of heaven to the gates of hell. And there's room for the forsaken if you're there on time. You'll be washed of all your sins and all of your crimes if you're down there by the train, 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 down there where the train goes slow. There's a golden moon that shines up through the mist, and I know that your name can be on that list. There's no eye for an eye, there's no tooth for a tooth. I saw Judas Iscariot carrying John Wilkes Booth. You were down there by the train, 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 down there where the train goes slow. If you've lost all your hope, if you've lost all your faith, I know you can be cared for, I know you can be safe, and all of the shamefuls and all of the whores, and even the soldier who pierced the side of the Lord, they're down there by the train, 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 down there where the train goes slow. So Johnny sings, well, I've never asked forgiveness, I've never said a prayer, never given of myself, I never truly cared. I've left the ones who loved me, and I'm still raising Cain. I've taken the low road, and if you've done the same, and this is where you sing with me, meet me down there by the train, 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 down there where the train goes slow. Amen.
And now, we're going to keep up the familiar singer's tune. We're going to visit a little John Denver revisited with Lonnie Kawasaki, Country Roads.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, my mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, my mountain mama, take me home, country roads. I hear her voice in the morning, or she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, my mountain mama, take me home, country roads, take me home, country roads. Thank you very much.
Okay, now switch to a little comedy. And here comes our stand-up, sit-down comic, Ruth Flanagan.
Well, any similarity between what I'm about to say and things you've read in your email or seen on Facebook is not purely coincidental. It's purely plagiarism. After our last talent show, somebody asked me if I'd always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And I said no, but it's just when I started talking to myself that I thought I might be wasting some good material. And yes, I do talk to myself. Some days I just need an expert advice. But is this really stand-up comedy if I'm sitting down? So I thought I would tell you a little bit about myself. I basically have three sides. There's the shy, quiet side, even if you've never seen it. And there's the wild and crazy side, which a lot of you have seen. And then there's the side you never want to see. Just ask my number 2 son. That poor child was in kindergarten before he realized his middle name wasn't Damn it. I used to say that age is just a number and mine's unlisted, but I've stopped lying about my age and I've started bragging about it a little. I kind of like it when people say, well, you really don't look that old, though they don't seem to say that quite as often as they used to. But I don't really mind getting older so much. My body's having a major hissy fit about it. It's kind of like my warranty's expired. Some of the parts are wearing out. Excuse me, and I get to have all these snazzy new accessories. But if you think getting older is hard, try getting younger. At the beginning of 2020, I made a resolution to stop drinking wine, except socially. And I'm a very social person. Not that 2020 was the year you wanted to quit drinking. I think a lot of people started drinking in 2020, just saying. But as a result, I lost about 45 pounds. And I saw an ad the other day for one of those weight loss commercials, and they kept asking the question, what did you find when you lost weight? Duh, wrinkles. But despite the weight loss and because of some arbitrary number about body mass or something, they say I'm still obese. And the doctor wants me to exercise more. Well, I tried exercising once and I discovered I'm allergic to it. My skin was flushed, my heart was racing, I got all hot, sweaty, and short of breath. I mean, it was really scary. I'm currently in the fitness protection program. The only exercise I get is bending down to pick up all the things I keep dropping, racing to the nearest bathroom, and lately I've been doing diddly squats. Every time I say that dirty word exercise, I have to go wash my mouth out with some Chardonnay. A friend once told me that she thought that my birthstone must be the wine cork. And I said, really? The wines I drank rarely came with corks. Some of them didn't even have bottles. A lot of fond memories with Chateau Labac. I did like to cook with wine, though. Sometimes I even put it in the food. Speaking of food, they claim that we are what we eat. So I guess that makes me fast, cheap, and easy. Occasionally, I have to take a drug which turns on my sweet tooth, which does not have an off switch. And so much for weight loss. And what's with the drug names lately? Have you seen these ads? I mean, it's like they took a handful of Scrabble tiles, flung them out on the table, and said, okay, this one's going to be, looks like Sky Rizzy. They do seem to use a lot of those high-scoring Scrabble letters, though, you know, a Q, an R, and Z. Makes you wonder. Too bad we can't use those when we play Scrabble. Excuse me a minute. But when all's said and done, I've decided I'm not even going to try to get back to my original weight. I just don't think 8 pounds, 8 ounces is very realistic. And besides, some of these fat cells seem to have eternal life. I'm pretty sure that cremation is my last hope for a smoking hot body. And on that note, I notice it's time for me to exit stage left. All this talk of exercise, I think I better go wash my mouth out with some Chardonnay. You folks have been great. Thank you.
Our next act is actually involves a 10-minute play. And the playwright and her husband are here to perform it. And her husband is one of our senior center bus drivers. So Diane and Chris Walker, accompanied by Joanna Pyle, who will be the narrator. And
Welcome to Sharing the Mustard, a 10-minute play by Diane Walker. The action takes place in an old and very cluttered shed, or maybe a garage. The walls are lined with shelves full of boxes, and the floor is littered with bicycles, a broken lawnmower, an old picnic bench. You know the drill. The play stars Chris Walker as Harry, a 60-year-something male. Hard to believe, 60 years old? Really?
It was written some time ago.
He's retired. Well, some might say laid off. Oh no, a little overweight, a little cranky, and Diane Walker, as Martha, Harry's wife, who sits on the board of a local nonprofit. As this is just a reading, I'll be reading the stage instructions. Ready?
Ready.
At Rise, Harry enters the shed, looking around.
Damn, looks like she's been organizing again. Can't find a damn thing when she keeps moving stuff around. I know it's in here somewhere. Picked it up at the Mustard Museum in Wisconsin. That vacation we took the year I got laid off. When was that now? 2008, 2009? I mean, I'm sure it's still good. Mustard doesn't go bad, does it?
While looking for the mustard, Harry trips over a bike stand and hurts his ankle.
Pretend. Damn it. Why do we even have these bikes anyway? Kids never use them anymore. Martha! Jesus, women never is there when you need her. Martha!
Harry, is that you yelling out there?
Well, who else would she think would be here, yelling from the shed? Martha!
Martha, hearing the fuss, sticks her head in the shed door.
What? You know I'm in the middle of a Zoom call with the board. Why are you bugging me?
I banged my ankle on the damn bike stand. It's bleeding all over my sock. Can you get a Band-Aid?
Let me see. Oh, honey, it's just a scratch. You'll be fine. Let me get back to my meeting. Why are you out here anyway?
The auto show comes up again this weekend, and the guys are doing hot dogs for the barbecue. I promised to bring the mustard.
Don't tell me. You're out here looking for that case of honey mustard we bought at the Mustard Museum like 100 years ago?
Hey, it was only 10 years ago, our 20th anniversary trip to Wisconsin, remember? I don't think mustard goes bad, and it's not like you'll ever eat the stuff.
True. You do know me well, dear. But good luck finding that box. A lot of stuff's been added in here since then. Anyway, I got to get back to the meeting. You'll be fine, honey. Just keep looking.
You'll be fine, honey. Jeez. If I was one of the kids, she'd be all over me with bandages, peroxide, and Neosporin before you could say boo.
Harry stands, shakes his ankle experimentally, puts weight on it, groans, and limps over to a shelf.
Okay, what do we have here?
He lifts and moves the described items with each statement.
Maple syrup, check. Can never have too much. Expired bank statements, check. Kid art, what's this? Stuff from elementary school?
He opens the box, looks in, and picks up a child's drawing.
Huh, wonder what this is supposed to be. Some kind of animal, maybe?
He puts the drawing back and returns the box to the shelf, then pulls down another box and reads the label.
Aw, Sarah's polar bear costume. Really? How old was she when she did that? 9, 10? We should probably give this to Goodwill or something.
He picks up the costume and strokes it.
I don't know, maybe next year.
He puts the costume back in the box, stroking it once more before closing, then picks up another box.
Oh, hey, here's some missing Christmas lights.
He opens the box.
Wait, these aren't lights. What is this anyway? Some kind of netting? Ugh, a crab shell. Must have been a school project. But why did they put it in a box of Christmas lights? And where did the lights go?
He sets the box back on the shelf.
Ah, there's the mustard, tucked behind the stupid frog statue Martha's mother gave us. What is her deal with frogs anyway? This is not our frog house. It's not, we are not staying here until we croak. I, for one, plan to end my days in much warmer climate. I'm thinking maybe Jamaica.
Ooh, did someone say Jamaica?
Just rambling, don't get your hopes up.
How's your ankle, dear?
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Don't fuss. Your meeting's over?
Yep. Did you find your mustard?
I did, right behind the stupid frog statue your mother sent.
I ain't too old to cut the mustard, just too tired to spread it around.
Well, you seem chipper. The meeting went well?
Yes, delightful, actually. I'm beginning to really like these Zoom meetings. No one can see you from the waist down. You can wear anything you like. I love to imagine Ralph wearing moose underwear.
I'm not so sure how I feel about you imagining Ralph in his underwear, babe.
I'm not your baby, Harry. I'm your wife. You really need to stop calling me that. It's the 21st century, you know. And I'm not imagining Der Fuhrer in his underwear for any reason other than to lower the intimidation factor. You know how overbearing Ralph can be.
Yes, dear, but somehow you always manage to get around him. Must be all those years of practicing on me. By the way, can you explain why there are no Christmas lights in the box you so helpfully labeled Christmas lights?
That's crossed out, dear. And if you look closely, it's not even my handwriting. Must be one of those used moving boxes we got from the storage people. What is in there? Miscellaneous kids isn't exactly helpful. Although I have to assume there are no children trussed up in there.
Just some old netting, a crab shell, I don't know. Dig down, why don't you? See what else is hiding in there while I take the mustard into the house.
Left on her own in the shed, Martha sifts through the box.
Well, this netting can certainly go. And the crab shell. Ugh. Why do these things still smell after what, 10 years in storage? 15? Ugh.
She tosses the netting and the shell into a nearby garbage can and rummages deeper into the box.
What's this? A hairbrush? Oh, right. It was Sarah's favorite, but when she got lice, we made her leave it in the shed. I guess she forgot about it.
You still out here? Not organizing, I hope.
Look, Harry, Sarah's old hairbrush.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I found her old polar bear suit. Thought about giving it to Goodwill.
No,
It's okay. I put it back.
I'm sorry, Harry. Maybe we could just move that box closer to the back?
Yeah, let's do that.
Harry moves the polar box into a corner.
Well, okay then. Are we done in here?
Just about. I was just hoping my old waffle iron would turn up.
Harry Morgenstern, there's a perfectly good waffle iron in the kitchen, and it's not covered with 30 years of grease.
I know, but it's not my waffle iron.
Shoot, come on, just get out of here. There are probably spiders. Could be a brown recluse. Stop prowling.
Wait, I see a gleam. That's it. It's my waffle iron.
Harry spots an old-fashioned waffle iron, very greasy, and picks it up.
But hey, there's an old car key underneath it. Where's that from?
What key?
The key you put in your pocket.
You're crazy, old man. You're seeing things. I'm going in now. I'm putting in an order for takeout. You want anything?
No, you don't. What did you put in the pocket?
Harry, don't.
Why not? It's just a key. Oh, it's an old VW key. Isn't this is Sarah's van, wasn't it?
I'm so sorry, Harry. I couldn't throw it away. It was the spare. I couldn't. After the accident,
It's okay. I understand. Why did you hide it?
We've been doing so well lately. You've been doing so well lately. Getting involved with the guys and the auto show and all. I didn't want you to go back.
You mean to remember Sarah? Like I would ever forget my beautiful daughter?
I don't expect or want you to forget her, Harry. It's just, for so long, it was like you didn't see me or the kids. All you saw was the daughter you lost, not the ones you still had. And Sam, oh, poor Sam, it was like he ceased to exist for you.
Oh, Martha, I know, I get it. Sam's choices, I know I contributed to that, and I'm sorry. But I'm good now, and we're good now, right? Right? I mean, she'll always be there in our hearts. The counseling made a difference. It did. I know I resisted, but it was good you made me go, forced me to deal with the grief. I'm good now. Never going to be easy, but I'm good. You don't have to hide the damn key.
You sure? I just, I didn't want you to go back into that dark space.
Look at me, honey. We're good. We're really good. The kids are good. Sam's back in school. We're past the worst of it. We know what we know what we've lost, and we still keep going. Sharing the mustard, you know, sharing the mustard. Just because we have losses doesn't make us losers or hoarders.
Oh, sweetie, you were never a loser. Hoarder, yes. But never a loser. I think of all of us, you were hit the hardest. And I didn't want anything to trigger, you know, that empty feeling. You know what Ralph always says, right? When he's talking about the communities we serve. Our history is nothing more than the losers we settle for.
Losses, baby, losses, not losers, but losses. And it's not that we settled. I didn't settle for you, you didn't settle for me, and we didn't settle for this. It's more like we're learning to accept.
You're right. Losses, not losers. And no settling. And you did it again. I keep telling you, I'm not your baby.
Yes, dear, sorry. Now, about that takeout, were you thinking Thai, or do we have to have pizza again?
Are you kidding? You called me baby twice.
All right, pizza it is.
Wait. Harry sneaks back in, grabs the waffle iron.
But I'm keeping the waffle iron in the kitchen. Waffles in the morning, babe.
Harry, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times.
I know.
I'm not your baby.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I state my case, for which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. Guess what? I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted way, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I knew. Oh, but through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all. I stood tall, my feet, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now as tears subside, I find it all so amusing. I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. What is a woman? What has she got? If not herself, then she has not. To say the things she truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way.
We're going to welcome Judy Elfendahl to the microphone.
Well, I have the perfect audience over here. Last time I did this, I was at the grocery store, and the power went out, or the electronics to the cash registers went out. And so we're standing there, and I said, I've got an audience. So I told him the same story, and halfway through, the power, everything came back on. He said, no, finish it. Go ahead. Keep going. Anyway, so in Rolling Bay, there's three sisters living in an old wooden two-story house. And they've been there a long time, and they really love looking out over the water and taking the walks and going to Bay Hay. And so the 96-year-old is upstairs in the bathroom. She's got 1 foot in the tub and 1 foot out of the tub. And she hollers down, was I getting in the tub or was I getting out of the tub? So the 94-year-old at the table rolls her eyes and says, oh, geez, I'll go upstairs and I'll help her get it all straightened out. So she goes upstairs and she stops at the landing and she turns around and she says, was I going upstairs or was I coming downstairs? And so the 92-year-old is sitting at the table saying, oh my gosh, I sure hope I don't get that forgetful when I get their age, knock on wood. I'll be up there and I'll get both of you squared away as soon as I see who's at the door. And that brings to mind when Betty White was in her late 90s, she lived almost 100, she was asked the secret to her longevity. And she said, well, I live in a two-story house and I have a very bad memory.
Okay, Mary Jensen.
We still have a Heels of Thunder tap dance group that used to be associated with the Natural Disaster Bluegrass Band. But the band just evaporated as they do sometimes, but we still get together and tap and or club.
I'm
Megan is back. She is reading from her own published booklet, Somewhere Over the Rainbow Trout. And the chapter you will be reading from is called Mother is the Necessity of Invention.
This is a little booklet that I put together for a program that we had here several years ago at the Senior Center. This is based roughly on a true story. Aside from the rather crude living conditions of my childhood, most of my experience with camping consisted primarily of packing a picnic lunch, herding the children into the car, and sitting in stalled freeway traffic for 4 hours, inhaling exhaust fumes, and waiting for that magical moment when we could arrive at some nature spot to wait in line to explain, ooh, aha. Then load everything back into the car for another 4 hours of inhaling exhaust fumes. Therefore, you can imagine how delighted I was to learn when I moved to the Pacific Northwest that all newcomers are required to go camping as sort of a native initiation. My first trek into raw nature was with friends, though it's questionable what kind of friends would take me into the middle of nowhere to introduce me to such joys as jumping small streams only to fall somewhat short of the other side, or trekking half a day through dense underbrush in soggy shoes to locate the best spot for not catching fish. But hey, there were no exhaust fumes and no waiting in line for this excitement. The real hazard to all this marvelous communing with nature was that my children, having grown up inhaling exhaust fumes, demanded that I take them camping. This fresh air to the brain impairment resulted in my borrowing my friend's camping equipment, loading my 1980 Mustang with enough supplies to sustain the state of Rhode Island for a week, and setting off into the woods to take my boys camping. It's been said that God watches over fools and children, so with 2 children and 1 fool, how could I lose? But before the Mustang had come to a complete stop and the seats had been returned to their full and upright positions, the boys flung open the doors and scattered in as many different directions as 2 kids can negotiate at any given time. "Bring back firewood," I shouted, but my words were quickly swallowed in the roar of the stream we had camped near. The first order of the day was to erect our shelter, but as I dragged enormous folds of canvas and a myriad of disjointed aluminum poles from the trunk of the car, it occurred to me that I had never pitched a tent before. Well, no problem. I soon discovered instructions which proclaimed to be so simple a 10-year-old could follow them. Fortunately, I had been prudent enough to bring along a 10-year-old, but who was nowhere to be found at that moment. When my frustration level had just about reached its limit, the boys appeared to help with my formidable task. With point A securely fastened into point B and so on, we were finally able to extricate ourselves from the heavy folds of canvas so that they could be stretched over point C, D, E, F, and so forth to form our meager shelter. Boys have a peculiar knack for doing what they're told without actually doing what they're told. Therefore, my dimpled darling suddenly remembered the command to fetch firewood and ran back into the woods to obey. They straggled back to camp with odd and sundry branches and twigs, totally impressed with their deed. I, on the other hand, driven by the ever-intensifying noise of the tumbling water, felt compelled to go in search of real wood. This, of course, meant that some pieces had to be split or cut in half. Naturally, my arsenal of equipment did not consist of any blunt implements of destruction, so I began whacking various pieces against a nearby tree. Well, hey, it worked. I did not totally trust my cooking skills to an open fire, so I opted to use a propane cook stove for preparing dinner. To the camping purist, this act amounts to high treason, but you must remember that I had children to feed. Even with high altitude appetites, children will not eat anything with a charcoal crust or that came from a pan which has been dropped in the dirt by a cook who forgot that cast iron reaches intense levels of heat when placed over an open fire. In the true tradition of outdoor living, I opted to prepare a tasty meal of hot dogs and beans. At this point, I discovered another minor deficiency in my equipment. No can opener. Surely anyone who could pitch a tent, build a fire from rotted logs and branches, and who possessed a modicum of common sense could extract beans from a can without the aid of high-tech equipment. Of course, if I'd possessed a modicum of common sense, I would have been at home waiting in line to drive through the Golden Arches. Where's your sense of adventure, for heaven's sakes, I ask myself. Probably on the kitchen counter next to the can opener. While the boys frolicked at the edge of the water, getting both wet and muddy, two things boys do best, I armed myself with a fingernail file and a hairbrush and began methodically pounding perforations around the top of a can of beans until I was able to open it enough to pour the beans into a pan. Granted, the nail file was rendered therefore useless for its intended purpose, but I had long since lost my fingernails to the tent pitching and wood splitting. As the sun slowly dipped behind the majestic pine trees, we sat by the fire and watched a doe cautiously cross the river as we ate a hearty meal. Afterward, we experimented with turning marshmallows into molten lava. And it got dark, very dark. Mercifully, all the high altitude and cold water activity had tired the boys, so they were eager to crawl into their sleeping bags for the night. We only had 2 sleeping bags, therefore, my bed consisted of an air mattress and all the blankets I could wedge into the Mustang. The air mattress, of course, had a slow leak. So within minutes, the cold had crept through what little air was left in it and was burrowing into the very marrow of my bones. Then, over the din of my own chattering teeth, I heard an unfamiliar noise. Was it hoofbeats? Had we camped where herds of deer and buffalo roamed? Were we about to be murdered in our sleep? Amid my fear and trembling, I was overcome by a force greater than even my fear or the cold, a call to nature which refused to be denied. Armed with a heavy flashlight and a keen instinct to kill, I ventured outside the tent to face whatever demons awaited me. Once outside the tent, the proximity of a million stars and the peaceful blanket of darkness soon brought back my normal level of composure. Standing on the riverbank overlooking the tiny rapids shimmering in the moonlight, I realized the sounds which had threatened my sanity were only rocks being tumbled by the rushing water. By noon the next day, we had exhausted the realm of possible things to do. We had no fishing equipment, nor the knowledge to use it if we had. Hiking in the underbrush soon lost its appeal, and the ice-cold water prevented us from swimming for very long. I would sooner run into an angry bear than be faced with 2 young boys who are bored. At least if I played dead, the bear might go away. So my first and last camping trip lasted just 24 hours.
And since I've been making everybody else screw up their courage, I asked Gary Carter to help me out, and we're going to do a little song for you to celebrate the dawn of spring, which is coming tomorrow, and the sweet sounds of the red, red robin that comes bob, bob, bobbing along this time of year. So. When the red, red robin comes bob, bob, bobbing along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts singing his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead, get up, get up, get out of bed, cheer up, the sun is red, live, love, laugh and be happy. What if I were blue? Now I'm walking through fields of flowers. Rain may glisten listen, but still I'll listen for hours and hours. I'm just a kid again, doing what I did again, singing this song. When the red, red robin comes, bob, bob, bobbing along. Oh yeah, when the red, red robin comes, bob, bob, bobbing along. Yeah. Mr. McPherson, you're back to take us into the depths of the singularity, the cosmos.
Have you ever wanted to go back where you came from? Let's think about that. I'm not talking about geographically. I'm not talking about biologically. I'm not even talking about theologically or spiritually. I'm talking about cosmically. Think about it. Your body is made up of trillions and trillions of tiny little atoms that have somehow magically coalesced into what you are, your existence, and even your memories and everything else. Where did those atoms come from? If you know about the current thoughts about physics and Stephen Hawking talking about the singularity, the theory is that all matter and energy was in a teeny tiny little dot. Everything in existence led to the Big Bang, which blasted this matter and energy into what we now call the universe. So the atoms in your body were around trillions and trillions of years ago. Think about that. It's kind of scary in a way. It's called the singularity. That's what Stephen Hawking called it. And the famous quote from Carl Sagan is, "We are made of star stuff." Maybe you've heard of that. Well, this is a poem that I found that really struck me about that. It's called Singularity. It's from a poet named Marie Howe. She's the chancellor of the Academy of American Poets. And she was born in 1950, so she kind of fits in with our crowd. So think about where you came from. Singularity. It goes like this. Do you sometimes want to wake up to the singularity we once were? So compact, nobody needed a bed or food or money. Nobody hiding in the school bathroom or home alone pulling open the drawer where the pills are kept. For every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you. Remember? There was no nature, no them, no tests to determine if the elephant grieves her calf, or if the coral reef feels pain. Trashed oceans don't speak English, or Farsi, or French. Would that we could wake up to what we once were, when we were ocean, and before that, to when sky was earth, when animal was energy, and rock was liquid, and stars were space, and space was not at all, nothing. Before we came to believe humans were so important. Before this awful loneliness. Can molecules recall it, what once was, before anything happened? No I, no we, no one, no was, no verb, no noun, only a tiny, tiny dot brimming with is. All, everything, home.
And Doris Capadonna is going to be our final act today. Laura Millicent. Great, Laura.
performance art songs. The first one is called An die Musik, and it's by Franz Schubert, and it means to music, and it's basically a prayer to the divine art of music. By Robert Schumann, also a great composer of music, as we all know. And this one is called Dedication, means Widmung, and it talks about you dedicated to someone who loves you. You, my soul, you, my heart, you, my joy, and you, my sorrow. But because of your love, it lifts me above myself and makes me a better person.
In
spring is on the way, and also it's turned to romantic Vienna. This is Vienna, city of my dreams.
So we look forward to hearing from you next time we do a talent show. I want to make sure that Nikki and Colleen come up here, please, because you guys organize this. Come on up here.